Is it likely that a dictatorship can be established in the 21st century? In other words, do you think history is likely to repeat itself? Justify your stand. I think that it is entirely possible for dictatorships to be established even in the 21st century. Dictatorships rise from the lust for power, or if there is an uprising and the people establish someone new to lead them. So whenever those factors exist, which the Middle East and Northern Africa have shown us they do, there will be the ever-present risk for a dictatorship. As the new dictatorship in North Korea has shown, dictatorships are a very possible circumstance in the 21st century, and they are much less efficient, safe for citizens, and democracies are overall a more happy functioning society. Decide what form of government you wish to build by sharing the material and information you have gathered. Would you establish a dictatorship or a democracy? We would establish a democracy if we had the option. I would choose to build a democracy over a dictatorship because of the basic human rights that are practiced by the people in a democracy, and not in a dictatorship. Rights like this include people's right to speech, freedom, and right to practice and believe in anything they choose. People of a democracy get to have a say in their government's rights as well. They get to choose their leader and vote for the decisions a government makes. All of these rights are banished in a dictatorship. An example of these unequal rights is the most famous dictator to ever live, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler believed that all Jews should be killed, and anyone who disagreed was killed as well. Hitler killed 11 million people, including Freemasons, homosexuals, and Nazis themselves, as well as Jews. The Holocaust was a devastating time in our history, and it cannot be repeated. I believe that it is better to live in a democracy where we have rights and get to be a part of our country, not under the rule of a single person forcing us into certain beliefs. Therefore, if I were to establish a government, it would definitely be a democracy, especially in a time of crisis in our world, such as the zombie apocalypse. As Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "Let us remember that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us." The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not president and senators and congressmen and government rules, but the voters of this country. Would you want to live in a dictatorship? Does dictatorship appeal to you? Justify your stand. I would not want to live in a dictatorship. I would rather have a type of government where all the power is not invested in one person. As Wangari Maathai, an activist, stated, "When you have bad government, of course, these resources are destroyed. The forests are deforested, there's illegal logging, there is soil erosion." I got pulled deeper and deeper and saw how these issues become linked to governance, to corruption, to dictatorship. Dictatorship is linked to causing more issues. It seems we have seen an abundance of bad dictatorships. Dictators are also known to violate human rights, such as al-Bashir for violating the right of freedom from cruel punishment and torture, or King Abdullah's violation of the right of gender equality. Dictatorship does not seem appealing to me because there are countless examples of dictators not using their power for good. For example, Hu Jintao, who was told he could host the 2008 Olympics if he improved the human rights issues. Instead, he tightened restrictions on freedom of speech and religion. While he still got the privilege of hosting the Olympics, I don't think anyone should have to have so much power that the Constitution and laws do not apply to them, and their power gets to the point where they cannot be restricted. What kinds of values and practices would you adopt to ensure the people are happy? First, we would ration out an acceptable amount of food for the people. Then we would allow everyone to voice an opinion. We would also set goals for the group, create and maintain a healthy living environment. Then we would make someone a leader, but let the people still have power. Finally, we would have daily routines ensuring safety,